Hi, I'm Ramadan, and welcome to Macromedia's Rich Internet Applications Business Overview. I'm here to tell you about an exciting new class of Internet solutions. No matter what industry you're in, the Internet is a vital part of how you do business these days. I couldn't have said that just a few years ago, but the web has changed everything. In many ways it was for the better, but I bet you're beginning to see the web's limitations. You now have a huge infrastructure to do business online. Your customers expect more, and they'll go somewhere else if they don't get it from you. Your employees want more freedom and flexibility. And of course, your partners want more and constant access to your organization. The web just can't keep up with today's changing expectations. John Dalton is a senior analyst at Forrester Research. Here's what he has to say about the web.
Despite its widespread adoption, the web's limitations as a platform frustrate users as they try to complete their tasks. The core of the problem lies in the web's architecture. HTML pages accessed through a browser with all the functionality stored on the server. In fact, when you look at the history of interaction design and interfaces from the mainframe to websites today, the web represents a step backward in terms of flexibility, functionality, and power.
Now, why is that important? It's important because the experience matters. It matters to your customers, it matters to your employees, and to your partners. There's a real business opportunity here.
Why does user experience matter? Because if companies don't understand what it is that users want from them and provide the content, services, and data to help them complete those goals, they're going to leave a lot of money on the table.
Like I said, the experience matters. Let's take a look at a real-world example. The Watergate Hotel faced some challenges with their online reservation system. I'm sure you've all experienced this. First you check rates and availability, and then you wait. Then you choose your room, and you wait again. But of course, the room you wanted didn't show up. You have to backtrack and try different dates. And again, the waiting. Some sites even ask for your credit card before it tells you how much you have to pay. It's a really terrible experience. I don't know why people put up with this. Well, in fact, they don't. You've probably seen all the stats about the massive abandonment rates of e-commerce shopping experiences. So the Watergate Hotel did something about it. Let's take a look. They've taken those 4 HTML pages and reduced them to a single interactive screen. I can select a weekend for my family. I can even pick which room I want. And see how it reflects the changes right here. Now this is a much better experience. So as you know, there's a focus on creating better experiences these days. In fact, there's a growing body of management theory that suggests that better experiences lead to higher profits. Let's hear from Joe Pine, co-author of the book, The Experience Economy.
In the beginning were commodities, things that you grow in the ground, raise in the ground, or pull out of the ground, basically animal, mineral, vegetable. And they were the basis of the agrarian economy that lasted for millennia. But with the Industrial Revolution, we moved to an industrial economy based on making or manufacturing goods, physical, tangible things that we can touch and feel. Later, we moved into the service economy, based off of services as a distinct economic offering, which are intangible activities that we perform on behalf of an individual person. Today, goods and services are no longer enough. They're becoming commodities. What consumers want today are experiences, memorable events that engage them in an inherently personal way. So we move from the agrarian economy to the industrial economy, through the service economy, and now to an experience economy.
So basically, it's how 5 cents worth of coffee beans turns into a $4 latte. The experience matters. Now, when I was a kid, my mother would go to the supermarket and buy the commodities, the flour, the eggs, the sugar, the cocoa. She'd bake the cake, the kids would come round. That would be the birthday experience, cost maybe 50 cents. As I got older, my sisters would go to the supermarket and buy the cake mix, was a product offered on supermarket shelves. Cost maybe a couple of bucks. Bake the cake, we'd have the party. Now, of course, you go to Safeway and you say, hey, listen, I want this cake baking service. I want it blue, I want an ice cream cake, I want the name of the kid, how old, how many candles. Costs you maybe 15 bucks. And of course, most recently, you take the kids to a birthday destination and have a birthday experience. Climbing gym, Discovery Zone. Costs about 150 bucks, and they throw the cake in for free. What a great day. And of course, I'm willing to pay more for that kind of experience. So let's take a look at how this applies to the digital world. You start with flat HTML, which is the basic commodity. You then add scripting to give you some simple functionality. You might add database connections to give you a real web application. And finally, you end up with rich internet applications like the Watergate example that we showed. Let's learn more about these richer, more effective applications. So at Macromedia, we're focused on helping you build applications that really engage the end user. We call them rich internet applications. So what does that mean? Basically, a rich internet application gives you the best of the web, broad reach, instant deployment, cross-platform support, and the best of the desktop, fast performance, immediate feedback, and great interactive features like drag and drop, combined with integrated communications like audio, video, and chat. It's brand new, and that's really exciting. Did you ever expect to see anything like this in an application? Now, what kinds of applications are appropriate for rich internet applications? Simply put, it's any internet application for which the end user experience is important. In June of 2002, we released the Macromedia MX family of products, and we're seeing a lot of momentum in all of these areas, from public-facing internet applications to intranets and extranets. We're seeing some very exciting developments in rich media advertisements, configurators, data visualization, communications, and many more. So that's the roadmap for what's ahead, but let me show you some real-world examples. I was looking at digital cameras at an electronics store recently, and it looked something like this. There were so many options these days. I was lucky that there was a sales rep to help me successfully find the right camera. Doesn't it make sense to create that same kind of experience online? I don't want to spend more than $500, and I'm looking for something with around 3 megapixels. And finally, I'd like something lightweight. So I'll just move this down to eliminate the heavier cameras. There we go. I think I'll take this one. That's a good example of how to select a single product out of many. Now let's take a look at how to configure the options for a single product. Not too many people get excited about refrigerators, but I think you'll agree this is a great experience. Let's see. I'll get this size. With this style and color, got to have an ice dispenser. I've shown you a couple of customer-facing configurators. Now let's see some intranet apps. This next one shows you how to regain the desktop functionality that you had to abandon when you moved to the web. Cognos is a leading business intelligence provider, and here's an example of a rich internet application that dramatically improves the end user's capabilities. So I bet you're thinking that building a rich internet application requires a massive development effort and throwing out everything you've built. In the Cognos example, they didn't have to rebuild the application. The new UI connects to the legacy systems through web services. You can also get more value out of your current web applications by starting out small, and that's exactly what eTrade did. One of the most popular features on eTrade is the stock quote widget. People use it all day long. But every time somebody checks a quote, this whole page has to download. Now with this little rich internet application, all it takes is a few K for the data instead of the whole page. Huge savings in bandwidth, adding up to a lot of dollars. And of course, it's a far better user experience. So we've got this great application sitting in the midst of this HTML, and it's making a big difference to the bottom line. Here's what the folks at eTrade had to say.
One of the challenges we face on eTrade.com is that we deliver millions of quotes a day. We want that to be as quick and easy for the customer as possible, and as efficient and as economical as possible for us on the technology side. We used Flash to allow our customers to be able to get a quote without having to refresh the entire page. So it really created a more dynamic experience for the customer, and it was very powerful for our developers to use because it allowed them to get up and running very quickly, be browser independent, saved us on QA time, and really gave us results very quickly.
So let's look at what this means. Great experiences are great business. A hotel chain using the application I showed you earlier increased their online reservations by over 35%. Another company reduced their page download times by over 50%. And yet another company had 75% of the people who visited their site the first time return. Experiences matter. So let's take a quick look at the technology and how it fits into your existing environment. The good news is that developing a rich internet application isn't all that different from building a basic web application. With a web application, you have your database, which talks to the application server, then talks to the browser via HTTP. Now with a rich internet application, you have your client that's in the browser. It's called the Macromedia Flash Player. And that rich client talks to the application server via HTTP. To pass data back and forth, you can use XML, or for a more optimized approach, you can use flash remoting. The great news is that this technology for rich internet applications fits within your existing infrastructure. It doesn't matter what database you have. Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, we integrate with them all. Doesn't matter which world you live in, Java or .NET, we work with them both. The Macromedia Flash Player is right there in the browser you use now. In fact, 98% of the internet-connected computers already have it installed. It ships with almost all operating systems and browsers. It's also on a broad range of devices like Pocket PCs, Nokia phones, even Sony PlayStations. So it's everywhere you need it to be. And you don't have to worry about writing to different devices or standards. You get a consistent experience across all platforms. What's more is you don't need a whole new development team. Rich internet applications require some UI development skills. Your designers and developers can learn this stuff easily. So here are the tools you need to build one of these things. Macromedia Studio MX is the essential suite of tools for building great digital experiences, from the rich client to the development environment. If you don't have an application server in place, we have them. If you've already got one, we have flash remoting to connect your applications to Flash Client. And if you want to incorporate communications, such as multi-way audio or video and real-time data, we have Macromedia Flash Communication Server MX. Effective user experiences make a difference to your business, and rich internet applications are the best way to create these engaging experiences. So you've seen the benefits that rich internet applications can provide. Take a look at some of the companies that have been using Macromedia technology. If you'd like to start creating great experiences, we're here to help. Macromedia and our skilled alliance partners can assist you with a range of services, from training and pilot projects to complete solutions. Thanks for joining us. Contact us today.